Okay, welcome back to Pike and Shirt 1648 Medieval 2. This is a mod depicting 17th century warfare, and we are pretty much reviewing the units of this mod. So we're going to continue. We talked about the halberdiers and the pike units. We're going to leave them behind and we're going to move straight into the gunners. Now in this time period, the gunners are not the same as today. The gunners were support. So because the arquebusiers and the gunpowder was kind of getting its own momentum up until the point that the pikes are going to be redundant, and then everything is going to be just weapons, gunpowder weapons. So up until the point that we get the musket, the willock and flintlock. Now actually this time period is the 17th century. Most of the units have willocks. I'm going to say that even though this unit is a arquebusier unit, these guys are carrying willocks up until the point that the flintlock system is going to be invented. Everything in the army is going to be replaced by flintlock weapons, and that is going to be the era of the lines. So the line is going to appear, the type of formation of the line, and the line warfare is going to born. But in here we have the time of the pike and shot, and these guys are part of the shot. Now let's go ahead and have a look at what we have here. Now these guys have the same type of clothes that we see on the actual pikes. They have the same helmet. This is, the more I see it, I can say that this is a morrion without a plume. So these are morrions. This guy is carrying a willock weapon. We can see the detail on the actual weapon here. It was a very cumbersome weapon, as you can see, and I like the fact that we can see how these guys, the guys that created the mod, modeled this beautiful willock here. And as well, they are carrying here, as you can see, these are bullets. These are bullets that are hanging. So these are the bullets, and as well we can see this is the powder flask. This is the prim flask, powder flask. We have different designs here. This is where they are going to carry their powder and the bullets here. Then we see as well over here a pouch. They are carrying a pouch here. Let's see at the back. We can see that there's nothing interesting at the back. And yeah, they have the same type of shoes, but instead of colorful shoes, they have same type of shoes, brown shoes, as we saw on the other units there. Most likely the ones that we saw with the actual halberdiers. So this is called the arquebusier unit, and that is the first unit, the weakest one that we can see. Let's have a look at this unit, how they move and how they behave when they are not on duty over here waiting for some orders. Okay, now let's go at the back and let's see what is called the... These are as well Willock wielders. They have Willocks, but this time we can see that they don't have the actual helmet. They are using hats and they are plumeless. So the hats of this unit is without plumes. They have buff coats, most of them of different colors. They have whiskers over here, and they have as well the same type of trouser laced on the knees. These guys as well have a different type of sword. It could be said that this is a cutlass, but it has a different design. The weapon is the same. We have the Willock, and they are just carrying the actual lead bullets over here. Okay, so this is for this other unit. These are more regional units that you're going to be able to recruit. They are perhaps slightly better than this. So we're going to move now to the actual mercenary. No, actually these are called dragoons. So we're going to move now to the dragoons. These are the dragoons. The dragoons have plumes on their actual hat. They have boots, the same boots that we saw on the mercenary pikes. So this is basically the same as the mercenary pike, but this time around we see that they have their own bullets, and they have a pouch here and a sword. So yeah, so it's pretty much the same, but the only difference is that we see that they are using buff coats and boots. Okay, now we go to the back and we see here the famous Hashdukes. These are frontiersmen that are going to be recruited most likely by the Habsburgs and the Spaniards. These troops are Hungarians that are going to be on the service of the frontiers and on the service as well from people that can pay them. These are very, very good units. They were very, very effective marksmen, and their uniform, their coat is basically the origin of the actual hussars. These guys are pretty nice because there's a lot of history behind Hashdukes, and they have this type of sword that is the eastern type of sword that is called a carabella. It has its origins, Turkish origins, and they have the Hungarian battle axe on the actual belt, and this is historically accurate. However, they are not using Willocks. Apparently they have a slightly shorter gunpowder weapon. You can see that this is a different weapon. It could be a culverin or a carabine. Yeah, a carabine, or I would say a carabine. This is a carabine more likely. They have their distinctive hat. This hat was very distinctive for this type of units, the Hashdukes. They used these goose plumes over the hat. Some of these guys have blue and some others have even red, but the original one was the white goose plume that they have here. As you can see as well, we can see the detail on the actual shoes. They have completely different shoes from the other units, and this is something as well very remarkable about this detail that we can see in this mod. In addition, we can say that these guys have a pouch here, and basically that's it. So this is pretty much what we can see on the side of the Hashdukes. a very nice unit indeed, and a very powerful indeed. Okay, now let me go. Let's have a look here. Here is the captain with the actual guisarme, and he has his boots, and this is the ensign with the flag, which is the same as the others. So now we're going to go to the next units that are the simple ones. Simple units, very normal units, very weak. These are peasant units. These guys are pretty standard. You're going to find these guys in all the Total War franchise. These are peasants, but here are called the incited rabble, I think they are called here, and they hold a weapon that was used most likely in agriculture. So this is the so-called Vosge, and it was widely used by peasants, and it's actually the original weapon that gave birth to the bill that was widely used in England. And the unit that we can see at the back are using bills, and we are going to check what's the difference between the Vosge and the bills. These guys have normal wool clothes. The cloth is made of wool, and you can see that they have pretty normal standard type of wearing clothes. Now let's go ahead and see these guys. These guys are slightly better than the actual peasants. This doesn't mean that they are not peasants. They are peasants with helmets and with a different weapon that is actually a bill. Now let me show you here. Difference is that the bill has this hook over here. This hook was used to unmount actual knights. So even though you were a peasant, by holding a bill you're going to be able to dismount, because with this hook you're going to be able to grab the armor of the knight. So very useful weapon in this time period to dismount charging knights. It was used as well as a sort of a pike against cavalry, and as you can see these guys are using as well the morrion, but this is pretty much it. This is not a powerful unit. This is much more likely slightly armored peasantry. So that's pretty much it. The same unit as the other guys, but slightly different protection and weapon. Okay, now we see here slightly interesting. These are interesting units. These two units over here. Let me just let the thing move. These units are religious units, and they are present in medieval as well. These are called religious fanatics. And the other one that has that cross over there, it is as well something that you're going to see more likely, I think, in the Kingdoms DLC, Kingdoms expansion, and it's present on the Crusaders, expansion, I think. Now this unit here is the weakest one. This is the unit that is called the religious fanatics. This is just cannon fodder. You can see that these guys have no armor. I'm just going to pause this. These guys have no armor, and they are holding just sticks. So these guys are just for fun, I think, if you want to get a little bit of flavor, because apart from that, mechanically are pretty useless. Apart from the other guys that are at the back with the giant cross that I'm going to talk just in a second, these guys are useless. These are just, as you can see, they have their actual wearing a monk tunic. So that's it, a black monk tunic. That's what they are. In terms of the shoes, I think they are wearing leather shoes, which are slightly different from the others that we have seen, and I think they are pretty nice indeed. I haven't noticed up until this point that the only good thing about this unit is the aesthetics of the leather shoes that we can see here. Apart from that, and the small cross that they have here, they look badass, but that's all. It has Assassin's Creed vibes on them, if you know what I mean. So we're going to move at the last unit that we're going to talk about. Whoa! Now the camera is doing weird stuff because I have the camera with acceleration. But now we're going to see this unit. Now this unit, the only good thing about this unit is that they're going to boost morale, most likely Protestant and Catholic troops, and they have this beautiful, I mean beautiful because it has a lot of detail, this cross that they are shoving into this cart, so they have this cross and this thing. This is apparently going to give increase the morale, because the troops are going to believe that they are being protected by their religion. So this is what they do. And these guys as well are pretty weak. They are the same as the guys that are with the monk robes. But these guys they are not covered, their face is not covered, and instead of having that wooden stick, they have this cross that, to be honest, it looks a little bit more menacing than the actual wooden stick. And I believe that they are going to give a hard strike with this weapon. It's terrifying indeed. The last unit from the first tier, the tier that is commonly from all the factions. So hopefully you are liking this. Give a like and subscribe to the channel, share the channel. This was Victus, and I'll see you in the next one.